Hi, my name is Joe Bonamassa, and we're in a place in the world that I've been coming to for the better part of 23 years. We're at Third Encore Recording Studios, rehearsal studios, here in Burbank, California. I've been rehearsing in this very room since I was in a band called Bloodline back in 1991. Today, we're with my friend Jim Kelley, and I've been a long-time Jim Kelley amp fan, devotee, as you would say, and friend of Jim Kelley himself. And I bought my first one about 7 years ago, and I always loved the Jim Kelleys ever since I played one. And I immediately loved it because it was like it sounded, you know, really punchy, and it was like this really fat mid-range, but very articulate, but has enough squish in it so it wasn't too, you know, sterile. And I loved it because it cut through the whole band, and I was like the loudest thing in the room, which was always fun. Which I always find, you bring a little amp and like, oh, don't worry about me, I'm just a little amp just sitting in the corner, and then you fire it up, and all the guitar players in the dais, their heads kind of turn and going, what are you using? I'm going, using a Jim Kelley. So today we're plugged up through the brand new single channel with reverb head, the attenuator for those guitar players who haven't made themselves deaf yet. This is a very, very useful tool. For me, as you can see, the dial is all the way up. I use the gain around 5 or 6, depending on the amp, you know. And it's basically pretty straightforward. There's a mid boost that I really like, and then there's like I always forget about the extra gain stage, but they were nice enough to set up the foot pedal, so I sometimes just plug straight in and don't even bother. But this is what we got going today. So this is a pretty overdriven sound, but it cleans up really nice. So I'll demonstrate. If you hit the gain boost, it kind of blooms better. And unless you're in, you know, a death metal band, that's about as much gain as you're going to need. Cool thing about the Jim Kelley amps is when you turn them down and you turn the mid boost off, and you get this really cool, like almost like a Chris Kane or a Freddie King, or you know, the front pickup dwellers. You know, they always use the front pickup. You get this really nice, clean, bluesy sound. You know? Turn on the treble boost, and you turn on the presence boost, and then you can use the gain boost for if you really want some more gain on that particular setting. You know? Almost kind of like a Tweed Twin with reverb, and you save about $20,000 in the process too. So that's a very versatile sound. And then as you turn the gain down, the amp still remains compressed and you know, like in your face, but it does clean up really nice. So for the cats who love to have 50 million pedals in front of them, you know, you can boost the gain with whatever, Tube Screamer, Green Rhino, you know, Metal Zone. Remember the old Metal Zone? That was fun. That was a lot of gain. Now I have 9 of these amps. I'm kind of a kooky collector like that. And when I get into stuff, I really get into stuff. And I have several of the original single channel ones. And what's cool about the new ones is that you get the free reverb. Now, the days you're not playing, you're playing great, you turn the reverb all the way down and everybody can hear every note you play. The days you want to just kind of be like a blues guy, you turn the reverb up to 4 and it's cool. The days you're not playing very good, you turn the reverb up to about 7 and hide all the mistakes. You know? But it's nice, you know, really cool for like those ethereal chords and, you know. The whole concept of doing a lot with a little really kind of rings true, you know. Single guitar, there's no pedals on the floor. You know, 4 knobs, a few push-pull devices, and a gain boost, and you're good to go. So I'm a big fan of the Kelley amps and always have been. I use them a lot with a project that I do with Beth Hart, and basically in the studio and live, they just roar and really work well, especially with an old Les Paul or a, you know, Fender Stratocaster or a Telecaster. Whatever you put into the Kelley, you'll get the truest sense of what the instrument really is, and that's why I dig old Tweed amps, and that's why I dig the Jim Kelley amps, because I used to have a very complicated setup to just get to where this cable plugs into this guitar. I'm finding that I'm having a lot more fun and a lot more inspired just by figuring out the sounds of the guitar and a very simple amp setup. So there you go. Jim Kelley, you're a good cat, man. I really dig you. You fixed my first one for free, and I'll never forget that. And he signed it too, by the way. It's still in my house, part of the Bonamassa Museum. Cheers, everybody. How's that? Perfect. There you go. That'll work.
Now I want another.
All right.
That was beautiful.
Got you covered. By the way, there's a real interesting thing that these. I've never tried it with a single 12. I've always, because I used to run it with the column of 2 12s. Yeah. There's a real interesting. These are not ported, are they? Yeah. That's why you get all that bottom end. I mean, with just this little setup, you can rule the world with that thing.
Yeah, it's really